Ugogo nomkhulisani kwasendoda lesugogo bathini bathi mawuvula kuvala emzini yamadoda u-Aunty Usha. The last moment of truth we have been waiting for, the key element of how to achieve a financial breakthrough. We went through the number of things in our ancestral prayer, and up to this day it has been such a wonderful experience. Sleepless nights, and on my side it was hectic because in these 7 days, almost 4 days of it I had to wake up around 3 a.m. My normal time to wake up is around 3:30, 4, but I had to wake up strictly at 3 because of I had some smaller things that I needed to do in the morning, and also to avoid issues of traffic. So you can imagine, you sleep a bit, you wake up at 12, you do the prayer, you go and sleep a bit again, you wake up at 3. It's been hectic, and I'm human. Nami, there were times whereby I said, but I can always start again, on my own. Or I can always start my own 7 days. Ngenze njani, but I need this financial breakthrough more than the excuses that I have in my mind. So I said to myself, no, ngiyavuka. Ngiyavuka, I have to do this. It's been such a wonderful and also painful. It's not nice. It's not a nice feeling to kick those blankets and get out of the bed and take your candles and go to your corner and communicate and beg your ancestors to help you to achieve a financial breakthrough. Guys, yes, we all have ideas in terms of people saying, Gogo, you forgot this. We only have 7 days to do a financial breakthrough. Not that I'm ignoring other people's suggestions. Even amongst the things that I've spoken about, it's topics that you produced it, guys. So we worked together to achieve what we have achieved in terms of the topics that we had throughout the week. It was not easy. It was not easy. A financial breakthrough, it's always tough. It's always tough. It's not an easy thing. It's not walking in the park. It's not a lovey-dovey kind of a situation. It's tough. You can wake up every day. Maybe at 12 you ran out of your sleep and wake up maybe every day. But when you have to, it's something that is a bit difficult for one to achieve. But we did it, isn't it? We did it. We're in day 7. We did it. We are where we are today because of the will that we had. We were hungry for this financial breakthrough. The will was there. I want to achieve this no matter what. I do have other problems, marriage, businesses, or whatever. I mean, marriage, raising kids, maybe in the community, at work, the environment is not conducive. But, financial breakthrough, it's one of the foundations of the things that we need to, or rather things that are bothering us. Today, we are touching a very sensitive topic, a topic that most of the people, thank you, the topic that most of the people are afraid to talk about. Many people are afraid to talk about this one. Trust me, it goes hand in hand with the topic of self-introspection, the topic of self-believing, the topic of what is this thing but any topic that speaks to you. We are scared to talk to us. We are really scared to face our demons. We are very scared to look at ourselves in the mirror. There's this old man that said to me, Coco, things are so hard that I don't remember when last did I see myself on the mirror. Coco, things are so hard. I can't remember when was the last time I saw myself in the mirror. Coco, I don't remember when was the last time I faced myself in the mirror. I'd rather be told by somebody on the street to say, hey, there's something here or whatever. I will never, I don't want anything that has to do with my reflection, because I'm not proud of what I see on the mirror. Steep. Okay? Steep, ne? Steep. And I made him to repeat that maybe 3 or 5 times, because I really wanted to get it into my head to say, don't allow things to get to that level. I had to really listen to it so that I learn from his experience, so that I don't allow things to get into that level. And I furthermore provoked him. I'll use the word provoking, because I was provoking his emotions, to say, what do you think made you or makes you to be afraid of looking at yourself in the mirror, in the midst of things that you want to achieve? Don't you think you should go to that mirror and look at yourself and speak to yourself to say, I want to see the better of you. I don't like what I'm seeing here. What went wrong? Don't you think you're supposed to look at the mirror that way and say, I don't like this? How did you arrive to this that you are looking at? Because he said one thing that that also touched me is the fact that he said, Gogo, kukhona lapho inkinga zami bezisezifana nami. The way things were so terrible on my life, I looked exactly at that point, at that time, exactly like my problems. Things were so bad, and if I looked at myself, I saw that reflection of ukuthi kuyabheda. I remember when I was struggling with alcohol, there were moments that I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, and the only thing that would ring into my head, it was that old man. That was the only thing that kept on saying, like hearing his words. And I said to myself, I've made a promise. I've made a promise that I will never be afraid to look at myself in the mirror. But trust me, I avoided a mirror by all costs. Even if I go to a toilet and I need to wash my hands, I will go and look at the tap. And even if it's a public toilet, the mirror is big, it's here, I'll just look at the tap, wash my hands, and get out as soon as possible. When I touch my phone, I will make sure that it shows something, because of if it's black, possibilities is that I'm going to see my face. And the reason this guy gave me is exactly the reason that I had when I also was afraid to look at myself in the mirror. Just to look at yourself in the mirror and realizing to say, no, this is not me. This is not me. You sometimes things get that tough. And even beyond issues of alcohol that were led by depression, led by things that were happening, even beyond the alcohol, heavy alcohol consumption, even beyond that, the things that I was going through, I'll look at myself in the mirror and say, no, man. But no, man. Nah, man. No, man. I don't know if I do have his contact number, not contact number, his message that he sent me. He sent a voice note. Let me check if I still have it. he sent a voice note, or and he sent something along the lines to say, Gogo, thank you. For the very first time in years, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you look similar to what I'm looking for. That's what he said. He said he looked at himself in the mirror and he said, you look similar with what I'm looking for. Let me see. No, I don't have it anymore. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's a huge challenge that we're faced with, and that challenge, we're going to talk about it now. And if you don't have that part of your life, of the one that we're going to talk about today, I'm telling you, as I said yesterday, you can have your best muti on the planet. You can have the best motivation every day. You can read your books, or wish to read your books the way you want to, listening to other people's talking, learning from other people's experiences. Videos that we look at, things that we read about. It's really, really, really an easier way. Reading, it gives you an easier way of looking at things in a different way, because the person that has written the book, it's really telling you, Oguti, this is not where you need to go. This is where you need to go. To avoid this is what you need to avoid. So in life, we also have to allow ourselves to learn from other people's challenges, past failures, so that we create new things rather than repeating exactly the same mistake that the other one did. That's why we took these 7 days to go down on our knees and to communicate with our ancestors. Today, we on the last day, as we are sealing this financial breakthrough, we are now saying, without discipline, Hambiolala, without discipline, I've said around 4 days I had to wake up very early in the morning, because I'm training. Discipline, you train yourself to be disciplined. No one is born like that. They train themselves in becoming disciplined, to show up. You promise this family that you'll come, show up. Go see them. You've promised them. You have a presentation, go to that presentation. There's lawyers that I went to see. I've made an appointment. I've paid for that appointment, because now there's appointments that people need to pay for. Yes, there's a healer that I know in Mpumalanga. You pay for a booking. You're still going to pay for consultation, because he found himself, uLokhuzana, umkhulumabasi in Mpumalanga, he found himself in a situation whereby people will make appointments and did not show up. And he had things that he could have done that he didn't do. So Umabasa said, Gogo, I've decided to say, I'm going to make people to be disciplined even if they don't want to. So you pay for a consultation, which is the same amount with a booking fee. So when you come, you're going to pay for a consultation. But when you are making a booking for a particular day, you pay for that booking. And if you don't come on that day, you are forfeiting that booking fee. You need to book again. You'll never go there the following day and say, no, I've booked for yesterday and I couldn't make it, so I've decided to come today. It doesn't happen. And he said, Amatwasa wake, they're doing exactly the same thing, which is a good thing, because there's this thing that traditional healers, they don't have life. Traditional healers, they are not educated. I don't know where they took that from. I know of traditional healers who are really, really, really educated, extremely educated, with so much degrees and everything. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're advocates, they're there's a lot of healers that I know of that are very successful when it comes to books. But we have this thing that healers are not successful. Healers are people that they don't bath. Like according to people, we don't bath. We don't have life. And all we do is to wake up in the morning and just wait for people. And then thinking, we get excited when somebody comes in. Yes, it's okay. It feels good to say, my ancestors, they've called me to do this, and now I'm doing it, and people are coming. It's very good. It's a blessing. You know, there are people who are good, but no one comes into their practice places. However, because people are not disciplined, a person can make an appointment. A person can save for the whole year to do something that he has been told, or this is something that you need to do to fix your life. But because of the lack of a discipline, that person will cancel, because something else just came because of they don't get their priorities right. Something else comes in and they have a nerve to send a WhatsApp. And it's better if you send a WhatsApp. Others, they just keep quiet and not pitch up into the appointment. You have an appointment to go and present your idea. But because of there's no discipline in you, you didn't go because of last night you were drunk. You were going for a job interview, but because of you are not disciplined enough, you didn't prepare the day before yesterday. Because you are not disciplined enough, you couldn't wake up in time. Your interview is in town. Your interview, it starts at 9 a.m. Town, it's around 30 to an hour. In terms of, it will take you an hour, 30 minutes, at least an hour for you to get into town. But when your appointment is at 9, because of you say to yourself, the taxi passes there. I know the building, the taxi passes there. Then you decide to leave the house at 7:30 or 8. Boom, there's traffic. Boom, there's an accident on the road. Then you get there late and they say, no, sorry. At 10, we have another person who is disciplined. They won't tell you that. But that's what it means. At 10, we have another person who is disciplined. When I went to see this lawyer in Pretoria, my appointment was at 8 a.m. It was at 8 a.m. I was booked for an 1 hour thing. Guess what? Just guess. At 8 exactly, the meeting was starting. Not what we were greeting each other, we're still at the reception. No, at 8 the meeting was starting. That is discipline. What time did I arrive in Pretoria? 2 hours earlier. 2 hours earlier. Because I knew, I'm not rich. I do not own a chopper. That I will decide, okay, because there's traffic, I will fly. I knew I don't own the road. I knew there's something called traffic. I knew there's something called accidents that can happen at any given time. No one plans for it. It might happen, it might not happen. So I calculated all that time and I've left. 2 hours earlier, I was there. I seated at the garage, I relaxed, I went to the toilet, I came back, I had a snack. I was just calm. By the time I was called in, when I got to the offices, I started on time. At 9 exactly, we finished. At 9, I was standing up, we're done, leaving, bye, got into the car, drove, go back to work. Discipline. There's nothing you can achieve. Forget about the financial breakthrough. It doesn't matter even if you can go down on your knees. It is pointless to be loyal, to be disciplined. It is pointless to be disciplined in these candles if you are not going to be disciplined in what you were praying for. Let me repeat this. It is useless to be disciplined in making sure you woke up at 12. Even tonight, you're going to wake up at 12 and for your prayer, if ever Uma kuwukuthi you are not disciplined in what you want to achieve in your field. None of us is in the field of praying. However, we pray for the field or an industry that we are in. None of us is in the field of praying. Even pastors, they are not in a field of prayer. A pastor is in a field of praying so that the congregation, the church can grow. But for the church to grow, a pastor needs what? Discipline. If the service starts at 9, the service must start at 9, not in this thing called African time. There's nothing called African time. Are we starting at 9? But you know, people, they will come at their own time. We went to Orange Farm. We had a gender-based violence campaign with Mkhanyiseli organization, where we go into the community. We teach people about gender-based violence, the danger of abusing alcohol and drugs, talking to youth and elders. We went to Orange Farm Extension 7, and they said they're starting at 10. That is the time that the organizers of within us in organization, we said we're starting at 10. At 8 a.m. I was there. Why I was there in time? It's because I've planned my day before that day arrived. I knew on the particular day I need to be there in time. It was raining. Roads are terrible in South Africa, you know that. Especially to places like Orange Farm, they are being neglected. Some places there. So I had to be on time. It was heavily raining. When we got there, people were not around because of it was raining. But because of we are disciplined with the team, we went out into the community. We went out to give flyers and everything. We did what it took for us to achieve our event, and our event was achieved. And our event, it was successful despite the weather conditions that we were faced with. It's called discipline. There is nothing you can achieve. Forget about your business if you are not going to be focusing in building your business, in working hard. If you are not disciplined, it's pointless to be disciplined to finish your treatment. Gogo, I finished my treatment. People say that. Gogo, I finished my treatment. Gogo, I've made sure I finished my treatment. I don't sleep with anyone. I do everything. Gogo, I did everything. Yes, you were right. You were disciplined in finishing your treatment. However, your treatment is not going to do things right. Assist your treatment. Assist your prayer. Assist to patla kwakho by being disciplined in your space now. Whether the assignment I gave you, it was for this, to go down on your knees as we're doing a financial breakthrough prayer. After we have spoken to our ancestors, we need discipline. That's where we are lacking as people. We are not disciplined enough to make things to happen. We are lazy. We want to complain. We want everything. The fact that you did your 7 days financial breakthrough is not, it doesn't mean that you're going to wake up in the morning with your account full of money, or with your maybe you slept with your trunk under the bed. Maybe your bed is this one like mine that stands on top of the paint containers that are full of sand. So the bed is this high, and then you have a trunk underneath like mine. No, even if you can have that, guys, Lalela, you need discipline. You need discipline. Somebody can give you the multi that they trust. However, that multi needs discipline in 2 ways: in using it and in what you are using it for. The for part, for what? Why are you praying? The why part, the for part. I'm doing this for this. I'm praying for me to achieve this. For me to achieve this. You would never achieve anything without discipline. So the old man said to me, Gogo, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because of if I was disciplined enough. I wouldn't get to where I was at that particular time. Why he couldn't look at himself on the mirror, it's because he lacked discipline that made him to be where he is today. How many people are blaming witchcraft, but they are afraid to say, Mina Koko, I hear you, Koko, you're talking about witchcraft or whatever, but Mina Koko, what I want to tell you, Oguti, my problem is discipline. I remember when I was telling this lady to say, yes, I can see this problem, say what, but let's talk, my sister. You are all over. You are not disciplined. I see you jumping up and down and everything. And she just cried. And she said, Koko, I go from healer to healer for consultation because I wanted somebody to tell me what I didn't want to hear. What you are saying, you are absolutely right. I lack so much discipline. Discipline is everything. Because we have shows like I Blew It. We have people, I remember when I was in with independent newspapers, we used to do these stories every year of former lotto winners who had nothing at that time and everything. Others still have little bit of money. Their story is the same. Discipline. Discipline. Discipline was not there. There was not there. I have a friend who phoned me to say, you won't believe it, I'm achieving this and this and this. The money I told you, which I was waiting for, I did get it. And I did exactly what I said I'm going to do. Thank you for saying to me, you need to be disciplined when I get this money. And I did. Kok, I know you said you don't want to know if I received this money, but I'm telling you now, I received it and I've used it all to exactly what I wanted to use that money for. Discipline. Discipline. No, it's raining. I'm not going to go. It's raining. No. Weather is not bad. I can't go to that show because weather is not good. There's a mother that came to Orange Farm. As I've said, I went to Orange Farm on the 24th. That came. She said, I'm coming from far. I walked on this rain. I got a lift from somebody I don't know. That person dropped me off just across the road. I said to myself, despite the rain, no matter what, I need to attend that because I want to learn more about gender-based violence. It's a discipline that made her to drop everything. And when we were delaying to start because we were waiting for other people, as I said, it was raining. She said, yes, I have something to go to. I need to fetch kids from school. However, this is important. That is discipline. That is discipline. Because gender-based violence, it affects all of us. It might not affect you today. However, maybe it affected you yesterday, but you didn't know that is gender-based violence. Maybe it's going to affect you tomorrow. And you wouldn't know because of you didn't attend this particular event that was organized by Mkhanyisela. So it is up to us, Uguti, what is it that we want? So today we're talking discipline. We ask everybody to go down on their knees and communicate with their ancestors. Ask your ancestors to give you strength, to give you everything, to make you wise, to be disciplined. Because without discipline, there's nothing we can ever achieve in life. Without discipline, we are going to lose all the relationships and the opportunities. Without discipline, we're going back to those blockages. Discipline. Without discipline, you will never have boundaries. Boundaries and discipline are two different things. You can have boundaries closing inside what is not disciplined, closing inside what is wrong, closing inside what is a bad habit. You do have boundaries, but your boundaries are closing in what is not right. But discipline will make sure with your boundaries, with your unlocked life full of blockages, you know what things are going to run smooth. Because of your discipline, you're going to attract relationships that are disciplined. You're going to get opportunities that are disciplined. Salwa Sendo to Gogo Bathini Mbatha. If anyone would like to donate pets, anything, food, whatever, for Umkhanyiseli organization, is an organization that is working throughout South Africa, making sure that families' lives becomes better. We are living in a very, very, very tough situations, tough times. We're really asking ukuthi as Umkhanyiseli, I'm a deputy chairperson at Umkhanyiseli. I'm very passionate about it. We also have Good Goals. Please check out Good Goals Good Goals TV on YouTube, where we talk about drugs and alcohol. We're asking for donations at Umkhanyiseli. If you can call the office, they'll give you the number for the treasurer that deals with receiving the donations. It's not the money that must go to Gogo Bathini Mbatha's account. It's a money for the organization, so that we change the society that we are in. If we are waiting for the organization that normally gives, organization or a company that normally gives donations or clothes or whatever that they can give out, please let us know. There's Umama in Orange Farm that does a soup kitchen that is cooking for homeless people for absolute free with her money, and she also needs assistance from Umkhanyiseli, and Umkhanyiseli needs an assistance from you guys. Let's change our society. I'm going to donate 100 books in 100 families as well, in terms of saying this book can be able to change their lives. A book, yellow and blue. That you see that book there. Yes. In terms of how people they can change their lives, we do. You know, those that normally comes home and we said on a certain ritual that you do, we need ancestors' gift. Those things, we take them to such families. We use them at home for you, so that when you come, you utilize those things. Those that have been Empangeni will know. But we also take some of the stuff, blankets, gas stoves, whatever. We take it to the community, especially when it comes to winter, to the communities that are in need, that are in disadvantage compared to others. Please, let's make Umkhanyiseli to be one of the organizations that is striving in changing the lives in society. I remember when I was with Uputemba, at Tembisa Putemba from Scheme GP, and you know the presentation that he gave, the man in his level, the presentation that he gave in such a small group, you can tell what this guy really, really, really wants to make a change. Even if there was one person, I'm sure Uputemba was going to do the presentation. And he did his level best. You can tell what he was speaking as if he's speaking to thousands of people while he was talking to a small group, because other people are still coming in. So we're working with an organization like that, Scheme GP, as you have seen me on Scheme GP as well. So please give a helping hand to Mkhanyiseli. The contact details, you'll find them at the office. And then you're going to speak to the right person that receives a donation. I'm part and parcel of it. So don't be surprised seeing me in the township giving young girls pets, giving elder people, young adults condoms, or whatever campaign that we are running. We are very concerned with gender-based violence. And what causes gender-based violence? What is the key thing that makes gender-based violence to be so much? It's alcohol and drugs. It's alcohol and drugs. Thokozani.